everybody. It's Kimberly. I am an eternal life student, which simply means human. At the end of the day, that really is the only title that we need. I think people are like walking books. We each have our own stories to share with each other. And by doing this, we can learn and grow stronger together. Today, I'm very excited. I am going to have a guest speaker, Elizabeth Merchant, and we are going to talk about journey as an adult learner, which I think is a really important topic that many of us have thought about, and we're not sure, should we go back to school, should we not go back to school? So let's speak with Elizabeth and learn a little bit more about it and her journey. Hi, Elizabeth, how are you doing?
Hi there, Kimberly, and I want to say thank you so much for having me on, and I look forward to today's discussion.
Me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So first, if you could please let people know a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sure. So I'm from Ontario, Canada, and I'm a mom, and I've got two cats. And you know what? I consider myself to be like a very friendly person, very much a people person, and I always like to have things going on, you know.
Mhm.
And one of the biggest about myself is learning. I definitely love to learn, and that's what we'll be exploring today.
Okay, great. So, one of the things that we were talking about before was, is there really an age limit for learning?
You know, I would say no, not at all. I say that learning is lifelong. And, you know, there's a lot of older learners out there and even other people who would like to, but, you know, the age factor stops them and they think, am I too old to go back? I'm settled in my job now. Maybe it's too late. And I would say, no, just try, go for it. You know, if there's something that you're thinking about, do some research.
Mm.
And if you've still got that, like the drive and the will, and you figure, I really want to do this, give it a try, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And that's pretty much, you know, like that's what I said. I was a little nervous too at first. I was thinking, will it take me too long? There's all these hesitations. And
Yes.
then, you know, after doing some exploration, I thought, I could do this. Yes. So I'm on that learning journey now,
Oh,
studying
wonderful.
part-time. So I'm still able to fit it in.
No, that's great. I mean, they say a lot of times, if you stand still, nothing will happen, right?
That's
But
right.
if you start moving in the direction, eventually you'll be finished, right? You'll finish learning and you'll be able to accomplish what you want, and then it opens up all new opportunities for you.
And that's the key. You said it right there, like opening up opportunities because like for many years I worked in a real estate office
Mhm.
and doing clerical work and, you know, to pay the bills. Then I started to think, you know, I think I could explore other options, you know, and try different things and
Yeah.
see what I gravitate to, what like I'm naturally um, I guess, good at or what
Mhm.
I find myself or my heart going towards, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So I studied some courses here and there. And then I took it was like an introductory counseling course in community services.
Okay.
And yes, and I found I loved it, you know,
Oh,
the people
good.
interaction and helping them. So it was my teacher actually in that program that said, you can pursue this. You can go on to the next level and keep going. So that's when I thought, yeah, I'm going to try it. So that's what I'm studying now, which is the
Oh,
diploma program in social
wonderful.
service work.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And it's going well?
Oh, I love it, love it,
Oh, good.
and that's how I know my passion. You know,
Mhm.
my heart. It's aligned now. I finally found that thing that I
Yeah.
really love.
Oh,
So I'll continue with that. Yeah.
no, that's great. So, okay, so like you said, you have to first take some steps, right? You have to
Yeah.
kind of figure out what you like, what you want to do. Sometimes that it can be a little bit harder because when you're older, you're already working, right? You've
Yes.
got bills to pay, you've got family, you've got all these other responsibilities. So
Yes.
you have to figure out how to make time to do it, correct?
And that's right. And that goes into my next point about that there is going to be some challenges. So for
Yes.
me, it was, yes, balancing work uh, with the time and also also money because again, you have to take care of your priorities first. So you've got
Yeah.
your rent and so on,
Yeah.
and then maybe things the kids may need, and for yourself too.
Yeah.
So how I did it is I made sure I did what I needed to do first, took care of that. Then I would, as I could, like each month, I stayed disciplined to put aside what I would need for each course. So I can still take the courses
Yeah.
and do everything else,
Yeah.
you know. And then on top of that, I still had time to fit in some volunteering. Even my friend said, "How do you do it? You
I
go to
know
school,
that's
volunteer." Right. So it's just like prioritizing. And it was mainly like evenings that I had that time because working full time.
Mhm.
So if let's say like I had a big assignment, I did have to devote a lot more of my evening times to that. But once I finished, then it was a little bit of breathing room, you know.
Okay.
So yes, yes. And then with volunteer, what helped is rather than having to go in because that would be more time,
Yeah.
away. I would it'd be mainly like online interaction. So that's another option too, some online stuff if you're trying to fit everything in.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of people say the online, when you're older, online is
Most,
easier, right?
yes,
Depending on the time that you could put toward it.
that's right.
So there's a lot of different availability for people who are looking
Yeah.
for going further education that way. True?
Yes. Oh, yes, that's right. That's what I love about going part time. It's geared to the older learner. They know that most adults are working full time, and so it's not for very long, maybe
Mhm.
about an hour or two. And what's kind is that the teachers would even say, "Okay, you can even leave a little early if
Oh,
you need to." It's so flexible.
that's nice.
Oh yes, it works out like that.
Aw.
So
Aw.
yes, those little perks.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Have you how do you feel it is being around the younger students?
Oh, and that's the thing. There's a few, but they're mainly adults, a little bit
Really?
older, like myself. So
Okay.
that's makes it more, I guess, more comforting. You're more comfortable because others are around your age too. So
Okay.
that's a big plus.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
definitely.
It might be a little more intimidating if, let's say, most students around me were younger.
Yes.
But yes, it does work out
I
like
think
that.
sometimes you can also kind of build that the mentor relationship and between each other. They tell you a little bit about what's going on in the younger years, and you can teach them what to expect in the older years,
Yes, that's a
right?
great point. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I think the generations can learn from each other for
Yes,
sure. So,
definitely.
yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
great. Okay, so what are some obstacles that you think that you have faced that some people might be able to learn from?
Let's see. Oh, sometimes, like if you're working, right, your
Mhm.
boss may need you to stay later. And so that'll cut into the time you need to get to your class on time.
Yeah.
And in that case, if you have a real understanding boss, you could explain, like, you could say, I could do a little touch more, but I really have to go because I have an obligation.
Mhm.
Or another one, I would say, especially, is the finance, because if
Mhm.
you're on a budget, then you do have to watch a little more. It may take you longer to get to the next course. Like
Right.
most people, they like to take a course one after the other, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes other priorities come up. So then you
True.
have to do it the next time. So those kinds of challenges. Others are, oh, yes, a big one, having to stay up late. Sometimes you have to
Oh,
stay up
yes.
late to finish that assignment, because
Yes.
you're meeting your deadlines.
Mhm. Yep.
Yes. So if you feel okay, if as long as you're not too tired and
Mhm.
you feel you can do that some nights, then go ahead, then be prepared for that.
Yes.
Yes, yes. So some long nights.
Do you think that time management is almost a priority if you're going to go
Oh,
back?
yes,
Because you
definitely.
have to be able to figure out everything, correct?
Great point. Yes, yes, because you only have, especially depends what time you're off. So let's say, of course, the earlier off, the better.
Right.
Um, but at the time, I got off at 5, but
Oh,
it worked out. Fortunately, that's right, because I got to class on time because it started at 7. So I had that
okay.
time in between.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So time management definitely, though. Yeah.
Now, same thing, not only for school, but for your family, your friends, your volunteering, even just alone time for yourself,
Oh,
right?
yes, can't forget that.
Right.
That's right. I
Because
almost
you're
forgot.
gonna you're gonna be stressed. You have to find time just to de-stress
That's right.
right?
That's right. Yeah, the downtime. So, yes, it's very important. I would say weekends. Yeah, I try to fit in some time in between there for weekends for just some downtime. And friends, unfortunately, I didn't get to see them as much, but what I did was I kept in contact, so social media.
Okay,
So we'd still
yeah,
always, be in contact. Family too. Yes. Yes, I would try to call them like a couple times through the week and then see my parents like on the weekends. So
that's
yeah,
good.
and my brother. Yes.
Now, how are they, having that support group behind you? Did you have people tell you, okay, you got this, you'll be great, everything is fine? And did you have anyone say the opposite? Oh, you're too old, you shouldn't go back, you have too many responsibilities. What type of things did you face?
Yes, you know what? Fortunately, I have great support system. So my family, my husband, and some friends who they themselves are also trying. So they
Oh,
understand,
good.
yeah, that kind of juggling, wanting to develop yourself.
Right.
Only maybe one or two people were saying, like you're saying it's a bit too much, or are you sure
Right.
you can go through with it? But most, oh yes, yes, very supportive. And I think that's what kept me going too as well,
Yeah,
having that encouragement. Yeah, and
definitely.
even my kids, like, they said, keep going, no, do it.
That's great.
So,
Did you both do homework together?
yes, oh
Right?
yeah, that too. That'll encourage you on, But
Definitely.
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
When they're doing theirs, and then I find we discuss homework too. We'll say, oh yeah, in my class today I'm doing this, and then my son or daughter will say, yeah, I have a test coming up.
oh, that's
So
great. And you open up
yeah,
more communication that way too.
that is very true. And I'm learning from them as well because the courses they're taking are
Yes.
different. So,
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
Wow. No, that's really great. Some people don't realize it actually can open up communication with your children.
Family.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, for sure. And that's the other benefit. Yes,
Yeah,
real big plus.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
For
Plus, you get to
sure.
show them, these are my study skills. And if they see you doing this, it's going to influence them also.
Yes, to keep
So,
going, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and not give up because sometimes, like your kids, they may get a little bit discouraged, and you have to say, "Don't worry, don't worry. That's for now. You're gonna have to work a little bit like that for now, with your studies and trying so hard. But
yeah.
one day you'll be done, and then, yeah,
Exactly. Just think when
yeah.
you're finished, they're going to look up and they're going to see, you leading by example and the next steps you can do. So that's wonderful. That's
That's
great.
right. Yes, and I find I'm influenced too by them. Like when I see they're persevering, and then I might be getting a little bit tired, or you know.
Yeah,
So we're helping each other that way. The encouragement is going both ways. So yeah.
definitely. Oh, okay. So, what are some other things that you have faced during this journey?
Well, school has been pretty good itself.
Okay.
I would say the other side is probably work,
Yes.
because sometimes I was stressed from work, and
Mhm.
I did deal with a little bit of work bullying too. So sometimes that was on my mind while I still had studies to do and to concentrate.
Oh,
But in the end, I did have a talk with my boss, and
good.
things did get better. Um, but I didn't end up working there anymore because the pandemic. So,
Right. Right.
there's a lot of layoffs and stuff. So that gave me more time actually to put to school while looking
Mhm.
again.
Right.
And I found that did make a difference. It really made a difference having that little extra time.
Yeah,
So, uh,
definitely.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think it's important, in your own opinion, right? If you're going back to school, do you think it's important to have a discussion with your boss so that they are aware of it, so that they kind of know, okay, I can't have them stay late, or maybe they're tired, or,
Yes.
those type of things. Just open the communication, that it might allow them to prepare themselves as well. I don't
Oh,
think it's mandatory. It would just be person to person, but do you think it would be useful? I'm just
yeah.
asking.
Oh, you know what? That is a good question as well. I think because this is one aspect that is very important to the worker, right?
Hmm.
So I think that would be depending. I'm thinking if your boss, like you, especially if you have a very good rapport, do you feel comfortable approaching?
Right.
Even if you may not, I think it may come up. There's going to be a time that you may have to mention that, I'm trying to do this, on
Right.
the side. And then you could even say, even though I'm studying and it's for my interest, this may benefit you as well because I can
Right.
take some of those skills and bring it to the workplace. So, there's
Exactly.
ways to
Yeah,
turn
no,
that.
turn it around. Yeah.
Yes.
I do scheduling at my hospital, right?
Okay. Oh,
And what happens is a lot of the nurses, they go back to school because they're further in their education.
okay.
What I find is if I know they're on school on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right? If I need help, I know those are days I can't ask. But and that works together. You communicate so that okay, these days are off days, and the
Yeah.
other days, okay, I can ask.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Right.
That's right. The next
Right.
day.
You work together. They may have a different exam on a certain day, and then you say, okay, I'll give you off this day if you work that day. And
Oh,
I think that communicating that way kind of works in both benefit.
yes, and I think that's fair. That's fair to do because you're again the communication and trying to come to a, what would you say, come to like
An
an agreement,
agreement.
or
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
As
that's
long as
right.
everybody works it out, and then you're fine, right?
That's right. Because that conversation would have been discussed before, so that's expected. Okay, my employee, she's gonna go off this date and this day.
Right.
And
So
so
everybody
yeah,
kind of understands, and then you go from there.
that's right.
Yeah, same thing. Like if they're asking you to stay late, right? If they know I have class that day, the expectation for both of you, right, is they need to respect that you have something that you need to do, a prior arrangement,
Oh, yes.
right?
That's right. That's right. And
Yeah,
and knowing as long as the work will get done, and
exactly.
yeah, so that should be good all around for everyone. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
So, okay. So, what are some things that you are finding with your schooling right now? Have you had any difficulties or obstacles with the school? Not
Let's
just work, but
see.
now the opposite with school.
That's right. Yes. And now sometimes, there will be little things that come up. So, like for my course, because there's a lot of collaboration, so
Mhm.
you have to figure out a time to meet for the group work.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's
Yep.
often group work. So fitting that in, with your schedule as well. Also, you know what? There's also research. Yeah.
Mhm.
So sometimes you may need help with um, finding certain sources because sometimes there's some sources that are more reliable than others, and you want to try to find those type of sources. And also, for me, because I'm kind of a shy person in front of a big group, public
Right.
speaking. Yes, yes.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
have
that
to.
will do it. Yep.
Yes, that's right. We have to
Uh-huh.
do presentations.
Yes.
So yeah. So I'm still trying to get used to that, even after I've done a few of them. But I've heard Toastmasters is a good way. I was looking into
Oh,
that.
really? Oh, great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. To kind of help you get over that, I guess, the shyness being in front
Yes.
of everyone. So
Oh, well,
those would be.
look at you now. You're talking in front of everybody.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Right? The
That's true.
world.
So this is one way. This is another way,
This is
right?
another way. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so I was gonna start to end the podcast soon, just so you know.
Okay, sure, sure. It's been a pleasure.
Oh,
Yes,
that
yes, very nice to talk to.
oh, thank you. I think this is such an important topic. Like we were saying in the beginning, there is no age to learning, right?
That's right.
We should be learning, till the very end.
I agree.
Whether
I
it's in school from each other, through a book,
Online.
online, everything. There's so many different ways to learn, and I appreciate you taking the time to show people, this, you are an example. There is no limit, and
Thank you.
so thank you for that. Is there anything that you wanted to share with our audience?
You know what? Yes, just to say that if there's something you're thinking about and you may be hesitating or you feel you may not have the confidence, I would say try not to worry about that. Give it some thought and think, you know what? If I don't do this, I may regret it later, and you don't want to look back and say, "If only I did it," or "I could have." So give it a shot, and you can always try it different ways. Like you don't have to go back for like a full 4 year or 3 year
Right.
duration. You can also try volunteering a little bit,
Mhm.
seeing, just to test the waters of some of your interests. I did that actually,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I found that helped. Oh yes.
definitely. Yeah, you want to see
Yeah.
whether or not it's a good fit. So, like you
That's
said,
right.
sometimes test it a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's right. And I'm also one more other thing I like to do. I like writing short stories and poetry,
Oh,
and so
wonderful.
that's another interest to
Oh,
fit
great.
in.
You know what? I think I saw somewhere you have a blog. Am I correct?
Oh, you know what? Not exactly a blog, but it's my short stories on a writing website, and it's
Oh,
called
nice.
Readsy. Yeah,
Oh,
readsy.com. Yes.
perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna include that on our comment section. So if people want to go read, they can see it. If that's okay
Oh,
with you.
yes, sure. Thank you for doing that. That would be great. And I welcome feedback if anyone would like to comment. And it's also on my
Definitely.
profile.
Okay, wonderful. No, that's great. We would love to have you back again. We could talk
Oh,
about all writing, right?
oh,
Poetry. I've had a couple poets on here already, so
oh,
maybe one day I'll
yes.
have a group of poets talking together.
Oh, that would be excellent.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know.
I can enjoy that.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
thank you.
thanks again. I am going to tell everybody, please remember to like and subscribe and put any comments that you would like us to answer. We would be happy to give you any information that we have. And again, there is no limit to what age that you should be learning. And that's what life is all about. Every day is something new that we can learn, and we can learn from each other. So thank you so much. And thanks again, Elizabeth. I really appreciate
Oh,
it.
thank you, Kimberly. I really love it. And sure, I'd love to return.
Oh, perfect.
I had a
Okay.
nice time. Thank you.
Thank you.